Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and here we have the third and final design using this week's Nail Team's Glitter of the Week, the large unicorn flakes. Now, have I saved the best design till last? Well, I'm not sure because I love them all, but that's your decision to make, and to help you make it, let's see how I created this design. Working on Miss Liza in this design, I will be using Gems Crystal Clear, my go-to clear acrylic, and I'm also going to add a little touch of Wonder, this soft white. She's very pretty. Going to add a little touch of glitter with Georgina from the Elite collection, and the unicorn flakes on show in this design are the blue ones, and I'm also going to add a few blue and sort of turquoise, aqua blue dried flowers. I have shaped my nails into these little almonds, which I am loving at the moment. I'd already done my thin clear base, so now I've just gone in with a little wash of clear acrylic just at the tip of the nail, and I'm going to pat some unicorn flakes into that, just to the tip, just roughly where that base nail free edge finishes. Not worrying too much if it's covered or not, because this is a layered design, so we are building it up. So we're going to pat these in, really pat them down into that wet acrylic. Make sure they are stuck in place. We're not looking to add bulk or anything like that. This is just that first layer of this design. Remember, I am holding my breath, hoping nobody opens that door, tries to talk to me, because otherwise there's the risk of those flakes going everywhere. And I do always close the lid when I'm not actually applying them. It can be a little bit faffy, sort of stopping, starting, stopping and starting, but I'd much rather keep them closed when I'm not working with them than run the risk of them going everywhere. Once I have got my little tips fully covered with those flakes, just patting it down, I am going to add my first of the dried flowers. So I took that sort of turquoisey one, which has got all the little petals coming off of it, and I cut it in half. With one of those halves, I've just applied it on, the middle finger, just on top of those unicorn flakes. Got my little bit of plastic that I'm going to wrap around, hold that flower in place until it's stuck down. And then the other half, I cut all the little petals and the flower heads off, and I'm just going to place those just randomly onto the tip of the other three nails. So it's not so much I'm going to have an accent nail, just sort of changing it up slightly. So a little wash of clear acrylic, and then these little petal heads will stick really, really nicely into that. Just a few, just dot them here and there. I had a couple left at the end where I thought I can add them if I want to, but I like to build it up and add more afterwards if I feel I need to. Just trim any of that little excess overhang. It was more stalks. And now I'm going to go in with Wonder from the cuticle, and I'm just going to apply this similar to an ombre, so I'm not worrying about any overlap of the flakes or those little petals, because this is all part of my layering, but just feathering it out towards the end. Now you will notice that I missed the middle finger, and that was purely a blonde moment because I wanted to do this on all of the nails. So in a moment I'm going to go back and do the middle nail, keeping it thin still because I need to encapsulate at the end, and I've still got more layers to add. And here you can see I've just gone back to that middle nail that I forgot. So once Wonder is all applied, I can start thinking about the next layer, and that is going to be those turquoisey flower heads that I've got on the 3 nails with sort of those scattered petals. So I've gone in with a slightly bigger bead of acrylic so that I can stick the flower head into that. Use my plastic as always, and I'm just going to do this on all 3 of those nails. I don't want it in exactly the same place. I've sort of moved it up slightly, across slightly. It's overlapping those little flower heads. That's not a problem. And then I'm just going in onto the last one. You see I've just left the plastic there, and here you can see where I said I'm just having them here, there and everywhere, and I just trimmed away the excess overhang. Once they're all stuck in place, I've just washed on a very small amount of clear acrylic, and now I'm just going to add some of that glitter that I've picked out. I don't want to overlap the big flower heads, but I was happy to have it around on the sort of the nail bed where I've got that wander. I didn't want full coverage, I just wanted to add a touch of this glitter. Just added a little bit more. This was a case with this glitter, less was more. So it's just sort of scattering it around. I've called this a floral galaxy design, so I was trying to think of like stars swooping across those galaxies. You know, if you get those pictures from like the Hubble telescope and things, and you've got sort of those swooshes of stars. This is what I was thinking. So just placing those on, just a little wash, and then I'm going to go in with a few more unicorn flakes, and I'm just patting those around. Again, I'm trying not to get them totally covering the flowers, but I wasn't worried if there was a little bit of overlap. And here I was going onto the nail bed as well, just on top of that glitter. Again, we're adding layers, layers, layers. This is what these designs with the unicorn flakes for me are all about. We're adding layers and depth and dimension. I had to get those 2 words in. So I'm just patting in some more of those unicorn flakes, and we are nearly done with this design. Of course it does still need encapsulating, so you know, I'm working thin, I'm really patting it down, I'm not building up with too much clear acrylic. I then decided just to add a touch more of Wander just at the cuticle. So it's going to give that milky appearance to the glitter and the unicorn flakes at the cuticle. I've not covered those flowers. I have feathered it out like I did with the first bead of Wander. It's just a little bit smaller. So it's going to give it that sort of milky appearance. And then I was happy. So this design was ready to fully encapsulate in crystal clear. Make sure all those flowers, the glitter, the unicorn flakes, everything was fully encapsulated. I had my strength, I had my structure, my apex, and then these nails were ready to file back to that nice little almond shape, smooth out the surface, neaten up the cuticle. You know what you gotta do. And when that was all done, this design was ready for the final finishing touches. Here they are, all freshly filed. So I'm going to give them a good wipe over, a good clean. Now I wasn't planning on adding any crystals to this design, but I decided, do you know what, I'm going to add some. So I picked out that middle finger and thought I'm going to use this as more of an accent nail. So going in with some Felicity Flex, and I'm just painting that down the nail. I didn't want it too thick around the cuticle, so by painting it down the nail, faded it out. And then I've got a mix of some blue and white opals and some sort of blue AB crystals as well. So I picked out the colours from the design, and I wanted that opal look because, you know, where I've gone for that milkiness at the cuticle, I thought that the opals fit really nicely. And I've just done a little sort of cuticle cuff, tiara, whatever you want to call it. Just place that into that wet Felicity Flex. And I've just added a few. I've gone for quite big crystals with this one. I don't normally use the really big ones, but I thought they worked in this nail. And then flash cure it and move to the lamp to do a full 60-second cure. And then we're ready to finish off with Tina Top. Now, I thought this design would also be quite nice leaving it matte, and I do like leaving the unicorn flakes matte sometimes, but I decided I wanted to go shiny, because I prefer shiny nails. I mean, I say they're nice matte, and they are, but my personal preference is smiley and shiny. We're going to get right up to those crystals without covering them up. We want to make sure that all the Felicity Flex is covered in Tina Top because it is tacky. And then once these are all top coated, you could swipe your brush underneath as well because you've got a little bit of see-through iridescentness there. Pop these in the lamp for a 60-second cure, and my final design using the unicorn flakes is done. And here it is. I love this one. I loved all three of these. It's hard for me to choose a favourite. Plus the designs that I did just for my Instagram. I had a lot of fun creating this week. So I really hope you've enjoyed these videos. And if you have checked out my Facebook and Instagram posts with all my other designs, I hope you like them too. But that's it for this week and this glitter of the week. There will be a new one next week. Have you had a favourite design this week? Please let me know in the comments, and anything else you might like to say. Hello, any requests, anything like that. I will pop the product details in the description box as always, along with the links. And if you're shopping at the Nail Team, you can use my code Helen5 for 5% off. The glitters and colour of the week are not included in that for the week they are, because they are already on sale. So you last chance to grab these before they go back to full price. But even once they go back up, you can use my code to still get a few pennies off. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you leave it too long. You just don't get as many pennies off. Anyways, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. That is it for me this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video and all of my videos. I will be back next week with a brand new glitter of the week. I'm really excited about this one. You'll know why when you see it. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Mwah.